Welcome to Death and Aliens, an in-depth look at horror and sci-fi TV from two friends who vaguely know what they're doing. I'm Courtney.
And I'm MK.
Did you catch the glitch in the Matrix that I was speaking
I
backwards?
I did, but I also
Good.
realized that like I wasn't looking at the screen, so like we were both like glitched out for a second. I was like, good
No,
times.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We're fine. Anyways, how are
Yeah.
you?
You know, I am okay.
Yeah, that's good news.
Yeah, I last week was a rough one. Um, did not want to be alive last week. That was
Sure.
a lot of fun. My meds were on back order at the pharmacy, so it took them like over a week to fill my prescription. And let me tell you, um, I'm gonna start ordering it like 3 weeks in advance of when I actually need it because like that was not a time that I could
Mm.
function. Um, that was a lot of fun. Um, but I have
They're
eight.
not on
Well,
a lot of meds right now. Like, have you seen all the stuff with the ADHD meds that are just like not
no.
happen? People are just not able to get their ADHD meds. Like, they're having
Okay.
to like try and change type of prescription stuff because they're not able to get them.
Well, and
Yeah.
my pharmacy is like a local, like small pharmacy. It's not like a chain pharmacy because
Mm-hmm.
Once Rite Aid shut down, I was like, fuck you, big
Yeah,
business.
sure.
Um,
Sure.
but they're also like, because they're small, they don't really communicate very well sometimes. And like the one time I was supposed to have prescriptions and they just like never told me that they were ready. And then I called and was like, hey, what's going on? And they were like, oh, well, your insurance denied two of them because they're over the counter, but like, you can just come get them from the pharmacy as over the counter drugs. And I go, well, that would have been nice if you told me that. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
that's fun.
what? And then this one, they were like a week late. And I was like, I'm about to like not. I'm about to go back to chain pharmacies just because at least
Call up Walgreens.
well, at least they do it. So that was annoying. Um, but otherwise, I don't know. I have 8 days left to teach for the year, which is very nice. I don't want to do any of them, but
Sure.
that's fine. It's great. I have to get blood work tomorrow, which is my favorite thing in the entire world.
Love that. Love that.
But I talked to my grandma today, so that was
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, she sounds a
Your
lot
flippy
better.
grandma?
Yeah, she sounds a lot better. Like,
That's good.
and she's like starting to like not be tired all the time and like she's not having as much trouble breathing finally. So like we're getting there. We're getting there. So that's good. So like, I don't know. Um, my kids are just still weird and annoying. Um, but everything's just kind of okay. Dan and I have a Taskmaster advent calendar.
Ooh, how's that
Um,
going?
so much fun. Um, we did have one puzzle that we had to cheat for the answer. Because we solved the puzzle. However, it required you to make a phone call and listen to a voicemail from like Alex, but it was a British phone number and it wasn't letting me make an international call.
Oh, interesting.
It wasn't connecting correctly because it was an international call and probably because like the phone number in the box was like the British phone number and like I didn't have the right like country connections or whatever I had to do to like make it an international call. Um, but so I watched a YouTube video where someone else called so that I could listen to the message.
Mm,
Because
that's fair.
technically we solved the puzzle. We knew like what box to open, but I wanted to hear the phone call.
Yeah,
So we did that.
that's fair.
But
That's exciting.
But yeah, it's been really fun. I'm the only person in the world apparently who like decided to have an advent calendar that gives me nothing.
What does it get? What do you mean it gets you nothing?
Every day it's a task, like it's a puzzle. So
That's
like
that's something.
it is, but it's like other people are like candies and chocolates and like
Oh, mine's
collectibles.
coffee.
Yours is coffee. It's like collectibles and coffee and snacks, and mine is like use your brain more.
No, I love that. I saw another one that I wanted to do that someone posted that was like a different mystery every year. And there's also one that's like an advent calendar book that you read like a chapter or two a day. And I was like, these are so ingenious. Like I've
Yeah,
always done the chocolate ones, and this is my first year doing the coffee one. It has been unhinged.
it has
But
been. Courtney sends me a picture of her coffee selection in her advent calendar every day, and every day I question.
yeah,
No, today's
like
was good though. Today's would looked
today's
good.
was good.
Okay.
And it did taste good. It's been so long since I've had it now. My interview was at 8 a.m. and now I feel like I've been up for 3 days straight. Um, I understand I only woke up at 7 a.m. I don't care. Um, and like the first 3 days were cinnamon, and then the next 2 days were lattes. And I don't really like the latte ones. And I always get the variety box, which is just generally like a medium roast blend with like a flavor, like different flavors, but it's all
Yeah.
like basically medium roast blend. Um, and so like the first 3 days were cinnamon, the next 2 days were lattes. The next day was a strawberry acai iced refresher from Dunkin'. And I made it at night because I was like, I don't think this has a lot of caffeine. It was like green tea level caffeine.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't want this for breakfast. I was like, maybe I'll try it like at night. It was horrible. It was like if you made a Crystal Light drink in a Keurig, maybe. I don't know. It
Oh,
was no good.
no.
It was no, and I don't really like strawberry drinks when they are good. So it
Right.
was just all. It looked pretty. It was very pink. And the next day was espresso, which like if I didn't have stuff to make like a latte, like if you're just making a shot, I guess you could just make a shot of espresso, but that's not a morning drink.
Oh,
However, I did drink coffee and then I did use the espresso and I made a latte to go.
yeah.
And I took it to work with me. So like I have like my Keurig has the extension where you can like heat up in like a little frother cup. And so like I
Mhm.
made a latte. It's fine. But then today was like it was McCafe, but it was which I don't usually love always, but it was like chocolate chip cookie. That was today, right?
Can I tell you what I've discovered about McCafe coffee?
Absolutely.
McCafe coffee in a Keurig is actually pretty good.
That's what I keep
If
hearing.
you buy like packets of McCafe coffee, surprisingly, the blend of coffee that McDonald's uses is very good. The problem is McDonald's workers who are making large vats of coffee don't know
Mm,
how to make coffee. McCafe coffee in McDonald's is always burnt. That's why it tastes bad.
yeah.
That's why you don't like it. It's because it's always
Interesting.
burnt or over batched, like a giant batch to make lots of
Mhm.
coffees at once, and it's disgusting. But coffee, the grounds are actually a pretty decent blend of coffee.
Interesting. That's what like Rachel Stepmom, that's what she drinks every time she's in town. Is the McCafe like Keurigs.
Yeah.
And I just have but also like in my variety pack the only one I got was like maple flavor.
Oh,
So
that's disgusting.
that's not for me. um,
No. No,
but
but
this one was really good that I
this
had
one was
today. I
what?
was very
Chocolate chip
surprised.
cookie?
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds delicious.
It was delicious. And I had it during my interview and it was lovely. It was a great time.
I keep meaning it's very, very, very cold here. I don't know if anybody knows. I was talking to my grandma
Mhm.
today and she told me that it was cold. And I was like, Grandma, it's 61 degrees in Tampa. She goes, I
Yeah,
know.
it
I go,
was.
it's 14.
Yeah, you had a Winter Wonderland at the game
Oh yeah.
Sunday.
So it's very cold. And I keep wanting to make hot cocoa, but I'm also not feeling great, so I haven't been making a lot of hot cocoa. But I want to try something. And I think the reason I have been pushing off making cocoa is because I'm afraid if I try it and it's disgusting, it's going to ruin my life. But
Oh,
I want to heat eggnog instead of milk and make my hot cocoa that way.
I think I've had that. That
Because
sounds like something
I
I've had
have I
before.
have vanilla eggnog in the fridge.
Mhm.
And I want to cook the vanilla eggnog and then pour my hot cocoa powder into that instead of
Yeah, I bet it's just like hella creepy.
it's gonna be so creamy and it's gonna have the vanilla from the eggnog and it's gonna be
Hmm.
delicious. But I'm also like, what if I burn it and it tastes like burnt eggnog? And then I can never
Mm.
drink hot chocolate ever again.
Nah, I bet you can't. You got this. Make Dan make it.
It's
Or
true.
just pass off the responsibility.
It's true. Just make it someone else's problem.
Right, exactly.
But
That would be pretty. I think I would get sick if I drank that, but I bet it's good. I just bet I'd get
why?
sick
Just
because
the amount
of
of
milk.
dairy? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
the
fair.
dairy because I use oat milk.
That's fair. You know, okay, listen, I not a big milk substitute person, usually think that they're really gross. The other day we were at a party at Dan's aunt's house and like half of This is the family that everybody has something that they can't eat.
Yeah, sure.
Um, and we had cake. Um, and first of all, I often find that I need to drink milk when I eat cake. Um, one of my students today told me that that was disgusting and that the only thing she drinks when she
Milk and
eats,
cake?
yeah, she was like, when I eat cake, I drink Dr. Pepper. I go, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I mean, I drink coffee when I eat cake, but
Right,
as a substitute, I would drink milk. Like as
right.
an
Like
alternate.
something hot or something that coats your throat and like uh
Well, you get
fights
that
the
sweet
sugar.
compliment. Yeah.
Yeah, like and fights the sugar. You can't drink sugared pop. It doesn't
No.
help. It makes
It makes it everything taste bad if you do
everything
that.
taste bad because the sugars are fighting for which flavor. I was like, I will drink Dr. Pepper with a lot of things that you should not drink Dr. Pepper with. Cake, not one of them.
Hmm.
But anyway, so we were having this cake, and I usually drink milk when I have cake anyway, but also, ever that's the family that we always have gluten-free cake, which they have a bakery that actually makes very, very good cakes that are delicious and not bad. I don't mind when they give desserts. It's when they have like rolls, like bread, that I'm not a fan
Yeah,
of.
I've had a lot of good gluten-free like cake
But
products.
gluten-free cakes are often very good, but the one thing is that they're slightly drier because of the lack of
Hmm.
flour. So
Right.
if I'm already a milk and cake person and I'm eating cake that is gluten-free, I need some milk. So I asked Dan if he could get me a glass of milk, and he brings it out to me, and he brings me a fairly small cup. And he was like, but he was like, he was like, just so you know, I only brought the small cup because it's not milk. It's lactate, like the lactose milk.
Hmm. I
And he's
still
like,
haven't had that. I really gotta
and he was like,
try.
and he was like, and I know you. And I was like, okay. Because I don't like, I give me, if you put skim milk in front of me, I'll fight you. Like, I want to
Yeah.
taste the fat in my milk.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. It was 2% lactate milk. And it was like, I wouldn't go out and buy it for myself if I didn't need to, but it
Sure.
was um a decent, decent like substitute.
Substitute.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I like anytime I've ever had like oat or almond milk, I can taste the nut.
See, oh, for sure, they don't taste like milk, but I also
No.
don't like milk. Like
Mm.
I, like I don't like milk, the taste of milk really, and I say I'm slightly lactose. Rachel says I'm more lactose than I like to admit because everything gives me a tummy ache. But I, like, I love ice cream. I'm still gonna eat it even when it
Yeah.
gives me a tummy ache.
Yeah.
So I did soy for a while, and then I got burnt out on soy, and I switched to almond because I was making this really great almond. They're they're smaller than a latte or cappuccino cortados. I was making really great almond cortados for a while, and I loved those. And then I switched to oat milk randomly for some reason, and that's the one that is like stuck the best. It tastes the best with my coffee flavors.
That's
It
fair.
tastes the best with my espresso straight, like when they mix together. 'Cause it's a little bit of a nutty flavor, so it's really nice. So I just use oat milk for everything now.
Which is fair. I love milk. I mean, I just drank a whole glass
Yeah,
of milk while we were recording. I love milk. So every time I've had a milk substitute, I'm like, this tastes like fake milk. But the
yeah. No,
lactate,
it doesn't taste like milk.
yeah, the lactate did not taste like fake milk. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. I love that. Um,
How are you?
I'm I'm good. I have one Christmas. I have convinced my family to come down here for Christmas. This is gonna be the first year my parents don't have Christmas at their house since maybe before I was born.
Wow.
Because like even when we had like our big extended family holidays, like Christmas was at our house.
Yeah.
Um, so this will be the first year my parents are not having Christmas at their house. But you know, my car is a little wonky. And I went up for Thanksgiving and I was like, I'm not gonna be working like a full-time job. I'm gonna be working my flexible like hours so I can, you know, plan around everyone. I said, and if you guys like I know mom works Christmas Eve, so I was like, just drive down on Christmas Day. I said, I'll have dinner ready when you get here, and then we'll do Christmas on the 26th and it'll be fine. And then they might stay the week. Who's to say? They never know. They're staying till at least Sunday. That's the information I have so
That's
far.
fair.
And I was like, great, sounds good. Um, but I am pleasantly surprised because I threw it out into the ether like it was the wildest idea I ever come up with. And I just pretended like it was normal.
Well,
And I was like,
I did a similar thing. I was like talking to Dan's mom, and I was like, I don't want to come off selfish, but I'm absolutely being selfish. Dan and I are doing Christmas morning at our house with no one else, just the two of us.
well, no, I think
Right.
that makes sense. I think a lot like
And
Rachel and him are gonna do that with us this year.
right,
Like,
and his mom was like, "No, absolutely, you should." I was like,
yeah.
"Oh, I expected a lot more fight back."
I
Um,
think a lot of people are like on board with that because a lot of people, especially like people who are in their first year of marriage or stuff like that,
yeah,
are doing that
yeah,
because you want to have like your immediate family
right.
Christmas and then you go do your other family
Right. And so we're
Christmas.
doing
Like,
Christmas Eve brunch at his mom's, Christmas Eve dinner at my mom's, Christmas morning just at home, and then Christmas Day dinner at his dad's. And so like I got it all
perfect.
perfect. Didn't and I she was like, when do you want like when are you doing it with your parents? And I was like, I would really like to just do Christmas Eve with my parents because my grandma is there and blah blah blah. And his mom's like, that's totally fine. And I was like, but Christmas Day, she's like, well, Christmas Day they usually do it with their dad. So like, would you be okay with doing brunch? And I was like, absolutely. That's fine. I didn't have to fight.
Love
I
brunch.
didn't have to fight, didn't have to negotiate. Like, I was just
Ugh,
like, this is what I
I
would like to
love
do. And she was like, good, we'll work around you. And I was like,
I love that. See,
so,
I used my lawyer skills and I fought.
yeah.
But I
Well,
like
I'm a very sympathetic person right now. So I'm just
yeah,
going to say what I
yeah.
want and people will do it.
That is very true. That's very true. I had a lot less to bargain with. But I was like, I was like, literally everyone is changing their plans already. I am the one who is like, I am the only one who is unaffected.
Yeah.
Because like I have two aunts that normally come in now. They're finding new places to go for Christmas instead of coming down here. And then like my sister's gonna have to take off work. And like to be fair though, I have been the one every year that's had to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Like this is, but
Yeah. Like last year you
no,
had to deal with traveling to Louisiana to see your
I didn't
family.
go.
Oh, no, you didn't because of the
I didn't
wedding.
go to Christmas last year. Yeah, because I worked before and after, like day before and after. So I went to my aunt's for Christmas Eve, and then I went to Nick's family for Christmas Day, and then
Yeah.
I went back to work. Like I didn't have
Right.
time to take off and
And
go
you
in
couldn't take
between.
off because you couldn't take off because you were coming up here.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
But
And so
but
I was like,
but then even like when you were in New York, you were the one who nobody came to New York for holidays. You had to go home or
yeah.
you didn't see
Rachel
them.
came 1 year for Thanksgiving, and then I think I went home 1 year for Thanksgiving, and then I just didn't go anywhere for Thanksgiving ever again. I
Yeah.
worked 2 years when I was at the bar. I worked both years at the on
Oh, I
Thanksgiving.
remember that. Yeah.
And then I did 1 year. I did the parade by myself and the Thanksgiving by myself. Because I had to
I
do.
I remember that year. You were so cold with the parade.
I was so cold. I almost got into a fight, but I think the Englishman was scared of me. I literally was throwing elbows, and he like then stayed out of my way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was like, and I know that like I'm having to go out of my way because I'm the one who left. I understand that,
Right.
but everyone likes my house. The baby is here.
Yeah.
And so if they come to me, they get to see the baby and they get to have someone who does Christmas for them. They just get to show up to Christmas.
Which is
Um,
always nice.
which is nice. And so I could not tell you, I could not have been more shocked when they agreed. My mom called me this morning and said, "We're gonna do Christmas at your house." I like just pretended like I thought that was the plan the whole time.
Like, oh yeah.
I had accepted that we weren't, but it just happens. And then she told me the reasonings that she thought were the right reasons to come down here. And it was literally the argument I laid out for her. Like it was everything that I was like, these are the reasons I think you should come. And then today she told it back to me like she thought they were her plan. And I was like,
But don't you love
yes,
that? Don't you love
your
that
idea.
convincing someone that your ideas are their plan so that they still feel good about doing exactly what you wanted them to do in the first place?
Yeah, 100%. I do that too much. But yeah, so I'm super stoked about that. I'm excited to have Christmas at my house. I'm excited to not go anywhere for Christmas, especially like because I'm going to be working from home and I'm going to be,
Yeah.
hopefully getting ready for a new job, that it'll be nice to kind of like not leave
Yeah.
it. And because we do New Year's at Rachel's every year. And so like I'm not trying to like run back and forth in between planning. I could just kind of do it all at
Well,
once.
I'm like, so my obviously my last day of work is the 19th, and then I
Mhm.
work at Shays the 20th and 21st. And I was like, you know what? I can work weekend shifts and just be like done because it's still I'll still be in a work week in my brain. And so
Mhm.
then I'll start my holiday on the 22nd.
Mhm.
22nd, I have nothing on the calendar. 23rd, Dan and I are going to see the Christmas show at Shays. It's a Cirque du Soleil Christmas show.
Yes.
24th, we have dinner with family and brunch with family. 25th, Christmas Day, dinner with staff. 26th, zero.
I love
27th,
this.
I do work at Shays. That's my only shift of the break. That's fine. Um, then 28th, we'll do family or Christmas with his extended family. And then 29, 30, 31, nothing.
Yeah. See, I
Well,
am the
until like late
New
New
Year's
Year's
Eve.
night, New
Yeah.
Year's Eve night, like, but then first, second, nothing. Nope. Third, third, oh shoot. I'm gonna have to cancel something. I double booked myself. But I double booked myself with a chiropractor appointment and an Asian New Year's festival. So like I can one of my students is in he's Karen, which is like um a tribal people that exists in Thailand, but they're not Thai. They're one of those like nationless tribal
Mhm.
people. And they have a fairly large immigrant population in Buffalo. And so the Karen Society of Buffalo puts on this like really beautiful New Year's pageant and he is performing in it and he invited us.
Oh, that's
Um
really
it's so
nice.
yeah, so I have the
You can
chiropractor.
reschedule the chiropractor.
Yeah, I can move my chiropractor appointment to earlier to go to
Yeah,
this New Year's thing, and it'll be
that
fine.
would be nice.
It'll be great. And then the fourth is our anniversary, and then the fifth I go back to work. It's like,
Yeah,
but like, how
I'm.
many days in that 2 weeks did I say nothing?
I know. I am
Ugh,
so excited for that because like tomorrow's my last day at the office and it's the 10th. Tomorrow's the 10th for me. It may also be the 10th for you, just in a different month. Um,
no,
I don't know.
tomorrow will be the 16th of January.
Hey.
Hey.
Um, but like, and then Thursday I'll be with the baby,
Yeah,
and then I don't have anything like technically scheduled until Christmas. I have an interview
right.
Monday, like,
Yeah. You have
so
interviewing and
I'm
podcasting
off.
on Monday, and that's
And so I'm not leaving my house Monday.
no,
And so I still haven't had a day home since what I tell you, October 30th.
no.
Whatever the last day I told you was the day I hadn't. I still haven't because my mom ended up oh, my mom came in for a trip Saturday night because she was opening a store in Baton Rouge. And so she came and stayed the night with me Saturday. So then Saturday we went to dinner and went to Rachel's and then we did Rachel's on Sunday. And like so normally Saturday would have been my day.
Yeah,
That
no.
was that was what was the sixth. That was the day I was like, that's my next day. That's my home day. And then my mom came to town. So
Yeah, no,
I didn't get it yet.
my next home day. Do I work? No, Sunday. I don't work on Sunday.
Mine's either Friday, Saturday, or Monday. I think I'm going to Krampus on Saturday, but I haven't said that out loud to anyone yet because then they're gonna make me actually plan it.
Yeah,
I want
that's
to go. It's only this weekend. I'm just really tired today.
that's
But
fair.
me and Rachel are doing nails either Friday or Saturday, and so whatever day we don't go. But I mean, regardless, in less than a week,
Just
I dare
kidding.
not leaving my house.
Just kidding. I do work Sunday. I don't work Saturday, but Dan has a concert. So
Mm,
concert Saturday. I work on Sunday. So yeah, my next day to just be home and do nothing is the 22nd. So it's a while, but then I have a lot of days of doing
yeah,
nothing. So
yeah, yeah. My next day, certain day that I will be home is Monday, which is a lot closer than any of the dates I've given prior
no,
to today.
correct.
So
Yeah.
I like have never been that's loud. So I say I've never been so happy I quit a job. That is untrue.
That is
But
untrue.
and it's never been so
So quickly refreshing.
yeah, and what is like it hasn't immediately gone to like stress. Like I'm quitting a job and I'm okay. Like and
Right,
everything is
you're
fine.
quitting a job because you're in a place where you don't need that job anymore,
Exactly.
not because your life is falling apart and you need to leave that job or else you'll die.
Correct, correct. Like it's a good reason that I'm leaving the job. Um and I'm not immediately jumping into something else. I know people talk about this all the time. They're like, I know I talked about jobs last week too, but like everyone's like, when you quit a job, you should give yourself like 2 weeks before you start your next job. And like, I'm like, I've never been able to do that because I need that last payday. Like, I literally, my last job, so before I started at TRO, I worked for the attorney. My last day working for the attorney was the day before I started TRO. Like, I didn't even get a day off in between
Well, and
jobs.
here's the thing. I will tell you, if you have the freedom to do it, it's lovely. Because, like,
Yeah.
when I moved home from Thailand, I did not get a job. I moved home and so I flew home May 1st and I had saved up enough money that I didn't have to go back to work until the new school year started at the end of August. So I had all of May, June, July, and August to do nothing. I started back at Shays early August,
Right.
but I still don't ever count Shays as a real job. Um, because it's fun. It's not,
Yeah.
but so I had those 4 months. And I will tell you, 4 months too long
Sure.
because by the end of the 4 months, I was so bored.
Yeah.
But like I went to Florida and visited Montana. I and like spent some time with my family. I like went and saw all my friends. I just like did podcast stuff. I like traveled and like relaxed and like slept and like didn't feel like my life was crumbling. And like for those first couple weeks, and I went to Houston because that was right after Zara was born. So I went to Houston for a couple
Oh,
weeks and
yeah.
stayed with Bree. Like I went to Florida, I went to Texas, I like hung out. And it was so nice and so refreshing. And I felt so much better about going back to work in
Mhm.
in August because like I had had time to figure out that I was happy with having a job.
Yeah.
So like 10 out of 10 recommend.
See, and
However,
that's what I'm
oh
hoping is that I'll have like 3.5 weeks.
yeah,
And I mean, I'll still be working. I'll do like data work, which is fine, but like it's not structured. It's not on a schedule. It's like I can sleep till noon if I want to.
yeah,
Like it's not a big deal. So I'm hoping I have 3.5 weeks or a month even. Like I don't know if I'll start. Like I don't know if like he told me today he was like even if there's an offer, like I don't know if you'll start by like beginning of the year. I don't know what our timeline looks like. Um,
right.
so like it could be a little bit longer, but I think that that feels like a good refresh period.
Yeah.
Um,
And even if it comes like you're gonna start January 1st, you still have the next 3 weeks to like,
right. I still have three and a half
yeah,
weeks. Like it's still plenty of time to like recover from working too much. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's not something I've really had the opportunity to do because even though like I didn't work at an office for 6 months last year, I immediately went into touring. Like I left my job and then 2 weeks later I was at a conference. Like I didn't
yeah,
stop working. I
yeah,
didn't stop doing music industry stuff. Like I just wasn't at the same job anymore.
right.
And I was more tired last year than I have been a lot of years from all the traveling and stress of money and whatnot of like making sure I can maintain all of that.
Yeah,
Um, but I was constantly at conferences and festivals and everything, and so like it'll be really nice to have this time where I'm not stressed and I know like what's coming next, and I know that like I'm okay with money and all of this stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, so that's how I am.
I love it.
Um, do you have some words of I don't remember what they're called. Happy words? Do you have happy words for
I
me?
never have happy words. Also, very quickly, I have only watched one episode, but I finally had time to start watching this season of Grey's Anatomy.
Mm, okay.
I was off my meds. I watched half an episode of Grey's Anatomy and read like the saddest part of Onyx Storm, and I was like, this is a choice that I should not be making. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was tragic. The person I thought, remember when I freaked out and I thought somebody was going to die and I was like really upset?
Yes.
That person didn't die, but someone else died, and I did not see it coming, and it made me very
Oh,
sad.
because didn't you say that you thought you had seen them in a commercial or something,
Yeah,
so you knew they
I
weren't
saw
gonna
it.
die? Okay.
So I knew that I figured out he wasn't going to die, and so like obviously he didn't die, but a different character died in that first episode, and I was like,
Yeah.
wow, that was more depressing than I wanted it to be. And I was like, Dan was watching it. He has no idea who this character is at all. And I just go, no, why? And he goes, do we like them? I go, yeah.
Is it a character I know?
No, she's only been in like the last two seasons.
Bummer.
Yeah, so. All right. First, do no harm. Easier said than done. We can take all the oaths in the world, but the fact is, most of us do harm all the time. Sometimes, even when we're trying to help, we do more harm than good. And then the guilt rears its ugly head. What you do with that guilt is up to you. We're left with a choice. Either let the guilt throw you back into the behavior that got you in trouble in the first place, or learn from the guilt and do your best to move on.
The one Catholic wrote that.
What's that?
So it's one Catholic wrote that.
Probably.
I was gonna say, you know it's true. My computer's dying, of course. I
It's
need to plug it up.
it's okay. I went.
Um,
Dan had a concert last weekend and it was at a church and I left the church and I literally looked at him. I go, whoever designed that church was part of the school of thought that mass is a sacrifice and you can never be comfortable for a second you're in church. It was the most uncomfortable pew I've ever sat in my life.
oh, I hate that for you. I hate that so much. Um, I was just pulling snacks out of my bag that I had brought home from work because I've been emptying out my desk, and I just remembered my mom. Like, I cleaned most of my house when my mom came over, but I like kind of left my library as it is because I have my peanut butter and my pretzels on my stand by where I sit and read my books,
Yeah.
and then I have like my all my crafts on the table, and I didn't
Yeah.
pick any of that up. My mom came in here, she goes, "You're living in your library." I was like, "No, I'm relaxing in my library." I was like,
Yeah.
"This is where I rest and I'm comfy." And so
Yeah.
it's okay if I have April stepmom gave me, she made trash and my trash in here.
Love
In
it.
my chair with me. So she was like, "This is insane." And I was like, "No, it's good." But okay, I'm sitting crazy. Anyways, hello. This
Hi.
is Death and Aliens, not the story of our lives. Um I have completely gone off the rails in my brain, so hopefully it stays in my brain. It doesn't come out. We are talking about Penny Dreadful, season one, episode four, Divimond. It aired June 1st, 2014. It was rated 7.6 out of 10. Number
Is
one
that the
song is all
lowest so far?
it is, and it's the last week was 7.8 in it, so it's like gone down a little bit each week.
Yeah, and I kind of see that.
Yeah, I rated it 7. I always make sure I go and rate on IMDb so I can see if it like reflects back and it's like you know this person from this other thing that you've already watched because God knows I don't remember that.
Yeah.
So IMDb can tell me. So I rated it a 7 personally. Um, the number one movie is Maleficent, and the number one book is The One and Only by Emily Giffin. Um,
Never heard of it.
on this, I have, but I don't really know anything about it. She wrote something else big, and I meant to look it up and I forgot.
Hmm.
Um, the Anne
Wait,
B.
what
Davis,
about the
the
song? Sorry, I missed the song.
All of Me by John Legend.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. On this day, Anne B. Davis from Brady Bunch died at 88. Um, India added their 29th state. Why would I write this? No way, I can't read it. This is not a word I know. I should have written it in real letters. It starts with a T. Telempa? Pure?
I don't know that state, so I can't
It's
help you.
close. And fun fact that's not super fun. You referenced the other event that happened today in last week's episode.
Did I?
You did. It was the 2014 Thai coup d'etat. Coup d'etat.
Oh, that's so funny. I did. I was
Yeah.
talking about the lovely military coup in Thailand in 2014.
You said it in my brain like sparked. I was like, don't say it out loud. Don't say it out loud. You're gonna say it next week. Don't say it out loud. I
Yeah,
was like, how ironic.
it's so funny when you like realize that you spent years living in a country that was probably still under a military dictatorship.
Mhm, mhm, for sure. For
I
sure.
think technically they have like a prime minister now and they have for a while and it's like technically not, but it's a puppet government.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. 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 It's something.
Yeah.
Um, our director is Deborah Walsh, who we've already spoken about. The writer is John Logan. And our editor is Michelle Conroy, who we haven't talked about. She is known for Pompeii, Splice, In the Tall Grass, and Mama, the horror movie. That's the only one I'm
Yeah.
like super familiar with. I'm like familiar with the other's existence, but
Yeah,
I've
well,
never
and
like,
Mama, I'm only like mostly familiar with it because it is not my genre of horror that I would want
yeah.
to watch, but I
I
know
haven't watched it, but I want to.
I've heard good things. The trailers always looked good. It just
I've heard
not.
terrible things in the best way.
Oh, okay.
People are like, don't watch this unless you're like really prepared to watch it. Um, so
I,
I don't know much else. It's supposed to be really like unhinged, kind of like in the same vein of like um Midsummer makes you like really uncomfortable.
yeah, I mean that's what I've heard. I've heard good things in the
Yeah.
sense of like it is fucked up good, but like
Right, yeah, yeah, yeah.
super fucked
Fair
up and
enough.
makes me question my existence is not the movies I watch for fun.
Right. Those are the ones I watch for fun.
Right.
Hmm. Yeah.
Whereas like last night I was falling asleep on the couch, but I was waiting for Dan to get home, so I put on the Polar Express. Like that's what I do when I know
I
how to.
just here's my unpopular Christmas opinion. I don't like the Polar Express. I think it's the animation style. I don't think it's the movie itself.
Okay.
Um, I don't like it. I understand that is tragic.
So did you feel uncomfortable when I made everyone dance to Hot Chocolate at my wedding?
No, I don't have anything against the song. I don't like. Like I said, I think it's the animation. I don't think it's the movie. I don't think it's the story. I don't think it's the actors. They have great actors.
I mean,
The
Tom Hanks
music is
is all
fine.
of the actors.
Right. The music is fine, but
Right.
like I think it's the animation. It makes me uncomfortable. You
Okay.
didn't make me watch the movie at your wedding.
No, I didn't. I did not.
So, yeah.
It is my favorite.
Um, I know. I know.
But to be fair, I also have unpopular Christmas opinions because I think Elf is a terrible movie.
Okay. But
So,
we've talked about this. We talked
yeah.
about the Will Ferrell of it all.
Yeah.
Um,
So I guess
and
I
so
can't be mad at you for hating my favorite movie when I hate the movie that is most people's favorite
that's true. I mean, I don't have anything against Elf, but it's definitely not my favorite Christmas
movie. No.
movie. Like, by far not my favorite Christmas movie. So she's also a member of the Canadian Cinema Editors, and I couldn't find a lot on her, like on the internet, so I found her Instagram, and it was just like pictures of them, like her and her friends hanging out in places. However, in 2023, she dressed her dog as Wednesday Addams, and it was very cute.
Love
That
that.
is
What
the
kind
one
of
thing I
dog?
found. I don't know because I couldn't even tell the colors because it was dressed as Wednesday Adam. It had like braids and everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Fair.
I think it was a hound of sorts, if I recall, but
Love
it was
that.
very cute. Um, we're talking about Danny Sampani today, who plays Simbi Simban. He plays the man that is
The
the
butler.
assistant. Yeah. Um, he is known for Trance, Black Panther, um,
That's
and
what I
Black
know
Panther
him
2.
for. Okay,
Mhm.
okay, because the name seemed vaguely familiar to me in the credits, but like it didn't stand out, but his face did, and I was like, what do I know him from?
Yeah,
That's it.
I also recognized his face. He has a new movie called coming out that he's starring in called The Amateur, or it came out this year called The Amateur. I have not seen it.
I have not either.
However, he was also in an episode of Doctor Who. He played the Colonel, Colonel Mantra, in a 2011 episode. I didn't figure out. I forgot to write down which one. But 2011 was
2011 was
the
Matt Smith.
was it? I couldn't remember
Mhm.
if it was Matt Smith or David Tennant.
Matt Smith.
Okay, and yeah, so Colonel Mantra or Mantu. Can't read my handwriting.
Oh, I don't care about the character. How do I say this guy's last name? The actor?
Um, it is Sampan.
Okay, but it's
Sampani.
Denny. Denny Senpai?
Oh,
Okay, no,
Danny.
there's a
Danny.
character. That's what I thought. There's a character on the show named Danny, and that's all Google AI wants me to talk about. And I'm like, that's literally not what I said, but thank you.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, and that's literally all I could find about him. He didn't have a lot on the internet for me to find.
That's
Um, so Are you ready to get into the episode?
Yes,
Okay, because this episode starts off with a bang.
it
Um,
certainly does.
we start with Dorian Gray having a sex party.
And
Um,
not just like a sex party, like it starts with like one of the raunchiest things I've ever seen. Like,
yeah.
and Dan goes, I forgot what the show was like. And I was like,
Well, it's like he's recreating like portraits. Like
yeah. But like
the scenes where all famous
it starts
paintings.
like with an overhead shot of like these women tied together, and then this other woman is like eating them out, like eating them out. And it is very like that is
Mhm.
a lot for TV. And
There's
I
it is
understand it's
Showtime.
Showtime. I know it's Showtime, but like I was like, that is that is a lot.
Yeah,
Like
I forget.
that feels like Game of Thrones wouldn't even cross that line. Like it was like this is
I think because it's based on old pictures that it's meant to be more of like a literary type reference.
which I get,
You
but
know
it
how they
just
can get away with more when they make it
when
something
they
like
make it an
that.
allusion to something else, then it's fine, but
Yeah,
it doesn't feel fine.
but it's no, it's icky. But yeah. I then he goes through all of this, and then we see him go through his house, and he has a secret tunnel behind a portrait, and then we see him sit down as he's like ogling something, which I assume would be his painting.
When I tell you the most tragic thing of this entire episode, and this episode was tragic and disturbing. For me, the most tragic thing of this entire episode was that they didn't show us the portrait. I was like,
I
no,
know.
but I was like, no,
I
but I was like, no,
know.
but Dan, it's the picture. It's the picture of Dorian Gray. It's the
Mhm.
picture. He's looking at the picture. And then they never showed it. And I was like,
Yeah, because it's you gotta pause for effect.
I know.
So I'm sure it'll stay tuned. And then we go through credits. So then we come back. It's been 2 weeks since we took our notes, and I forgot everyone's character's name. So I started out with their real names again before I remembered. Um, so we find Vanessa, and she's just sitting outside of a church. And a girl sits down beside her, and she starts asking her questions. And she's like, "Why won't you go in? Like, you really seem to be impressed by this church. Why? What's going on?" And this child is very inquisitive. And she starts asking about Vanessa's dating life, and she's just like so intrusive. Um, However, because she's intrusive, she also was volunteering a lot of information. We learned she doesn't have a mother. She's there with her nanny. Um, and then she starts talking about like she says, "We put mother underground,
She's
but I
not
don't
gonna
think she'll
it's
stay
just
there."
they
Yeah,
never and she goes, they never do they? Nessa's like, what?
and yeah, Vanessa's like, "I'm sorry, like what? You're like 8. Like, how are we having this
And she's
conversation?" And
like, no, like they go to
she's like, "Where do they
heaven.
go?" Yeah, she's like, "They go to heaven or the other place."
Yeah,
And it's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we were just talking about church, but you're not talking about the undead. That's fine."
that's fine.
Um, but then her nanny shows up and drags her off because obviously she's a strange child that needs to be
Now,
diverted.
here's the thing. I don't know if this character is ever going to come back. I don't know if she actually even matters, if it was just a weird scene about Vanessa's inner workings. But
Hmm.
the little girl's name is Lucy. They say that in the scene. The nanny calls her
Okay.
Lucy. Now, I don't know if you know.
I don't.
So this character that I think she's supposed to be is I did a lot of research, and when I looked up the character, this does not show up anywhere as a reference to the character, which is why I don't think that the girl comes back. I think it was just like a one-off. Like, but the main girl in Dracula, like the young ingenue who gets sucked into the castle, her name is Lucy, Lucy Westerna.
I did know that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and because there's another Dracula character in this episode for the first time, I was like, I bet that's I don't think she's going to be a character. I don't think it's going to be an important role, but I think that she was named Lucy specifically as a nod to Lucy Westerna, and I was so
Hmm.
excited.
I know. I love that. I do love that. I did forget that her name was
Like,
Lucy.
and I looked up I went to Lucy Westerna, like all the information about any time
Mhm.
that character's been shown in media and like references to her in other media, and this episode doesn't show up there. So
Mhm.
I don't know that it was intentional or if it was one of those like if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't kind of moments.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
But
guessing it's more of a you get it because I don't think she is that character. I think she's just a like
like
homage almost to
right, an
everybody, you
homage,
know?
because I don't think this little girl's gonna come back, and I also don't think like Lucy will come back, but because we're so deep in the vampire stuff, and because of the other character that shows up in this episode, I really think that like it was an homage to Lucy by having
Mhm.
the little girl named Lucy, and it made me happy.
Yeah, I think so. I do love that. Um, but Lucy's also a little weirdo, so her nanny drags her away
Yeah.
to ask to not bother Vanessa. Um,
Well, I mean, the character of Lucy in the book is very similar, though. She's like a rich girl
mm,
who like has a nanny and like thinks that she's smarter than everybody, and then she like
oh,
ends up
interesting.
trapped by Dracula. She's a
Another book I haven't read.
she's a precocious little. Well, in the book she's 19, but and based on how she acts at 19, she was probably a very precocious 8-year-old too.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So Vanessa is wandering around, looking around, and she sees Dorian across the way in this like greenhouse section.
A botanical
Um,
garden.
in the botanical garden. And she goes to talk to him. And we see a small spider crawling on a flower because there's spiders everywhere around. So I am so sick of spiders. Like, I understand that this is important for her character somehow, I'm sure. And I,
I wonder, this is 100% like me just making things up because I don't know. I wonder if there's going to be some connection to the Kiss of the Spider Woman with her.
what is that?
I'm trying to, I know it's a musical, but I think it was a novel first.
Hmm.
On the
Well,
Kiss.
while you're looking that up, I'll tell you because I'm doing a reading challenge, and one of the books that was left that needed to be like read for our group was read a book that had something with to do with or with a spider in it. And I was like, I swear to God, if one more person tries to get me to care about spiders or read about spiders or watch about spiders, I'm just cutting off
Um,
all art.
Probably not because sorry, I just looked it up and it's the time that it takes place in is not concurrent with this.
Hmm.
It's a more contemporary. It's
Recent.
like
Hmm.
it's like it's set in the 1970s.
Mm,
The
yeah,
eight, yeah, so that's two. And also, I don't actually know what it's about.
yeah. Probably not then. I'm sure it's a demon reference of some sort. Um,
Yeah.
but God, I hate it. So we see this small spider, and then she is talking to Dorian, and he tells her, he's like, she's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "I like to see one extraordinary thing every day," which is a good goal for someone who lives forever.
Yes.
Um, and he so he starts showing her this like different flowers. He shows her one, and he's like, "I want you to like tell me about this." But he makes her like really explain it in detail with the scent, all of this, and she's saying all these like lovely things. And it turns out that it's actually Deadly Nightshade. And he's
Which
like,
I
"This
knew
is
as soon
how
as I
they."
looked at it, I was like, that looks like Belladonna.
Mhm. And so he's like, "This is like how kind of how it gets you basically." And then they continue wandering through all the plants, and he shows her this like I missed what they called it, but it looked like an orchid type plant.
Oh, what was the name of that orchid? It's a very, very rare orchid that only grows in Borneo.
Mhm.
Um, oh, shit, what is that orchid called? It's a real thing.
Yeah, it looks like I tried to write it down and missed the word. Um, but she starts asking about it. She asks if it's poisonous because she doesn't know anything about it. And he says, like all beautiful things, I hope so. Orchids aren't known for being poisonous, right? Like to people. Like don't
No.
eat them probably, but like don't eat any plants. But I don't think they're like poisonous.
Yeah, I don't think they are. What is the name of this damn? Oh, there are 59 different Wikipedia pages about orchids in Borneo. So like that's super, super helpful. And they're all listed by
Their actual name,
their
not
actual
their.
scientific
Mhm.
name. Oh, Rothschild slipper. There we go.
Mhm.
Yes, it's called Rothschild's slipper.
Yes. Um, and so he wants it to be poisonous like all beautiful things. And so then we go over to Frankenstein. And he's with Professor Van Helsing, and they're looking at blood droplets. Um, we learn that he's invented Hannah's Week, which prevents coagulation entirely. Um, and he says to I think I missed exactly what his point was because I wrote a question mark by what I wrote down, which means I
Oh,
probably didn't catch it right. But he said to assist with eating blood, like the
oh,
coagulation,
it's it's the scientific,
hemophilia.
yeah, it's the scientific name for eating blood is what he said. I don't remember exactly how you
Okay,
say it, but that's what he said. It was like hemophagy or something like that.
yeah, yeah. Um, and we learned that he's just met Sir Malcolm. Really, they aren't like old besties or anything, but they're trying to find a cure for vampirism together. And this is kind of this Hannah's Week is he Sir Malcolm's not there. He's telling Frankenstein's
Hematophagy. It's hematophagy.
hematophagy. Got it. I was like, I for the life of me, like I didn't even try to write it down.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is what it means.
Well,
Um,
but just quickly, Van Helsing is the other Dracula character that appears in this book. We know Van Helsing from like the Hugh Grant movie,
I
but
know of him. I haven't
right,
seen him.
but like people know Hugh like Van Helsing as like the monster hunter from
Mhm.
the Hugh Grant movie, but in the original Dracula novel, he is like an older man. He's a retired monster hunter. He's like the only person who knows what
Mm,
Dracula really is. He is. So like this is a again a more book accurate portrayal of the characters. But yes,
got
so
it.
Dr. Van Helsing is a hematologist who discovers like what Dracula is because of his like understanding of
See, that makes
digestion.
sense. I because I haven't read it, I was like, I know this. I know Van Helsing is portrayed as a vampire hunter. That is a thing I've known from pop culture.
Yes.
Um, I assumed it was from Dracula, but I wasn't certain because I haven't read it. But that makes I mean that makes complete sense, and that's exactly what they're doing here. He's helping Sir Malcolm come up with a
Yeah,
cure.
so basically in the novel of Dracula, the one of Van Helsing, Abraham Van Helsing is he's like a super smart old doctor who's a lawyer and a philosopher and a polymath and all this crazy stuff. Like he's an old rich doctor guy.
Mhm.
And Lucy is very, very sick and she's brought to him and he discovers the like diseases in her blood because of Dracula and he figures out like and so he discovers the vampires because of that.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Yes.
I can't wait to read it. Book
Yeah.
3. Stay tuned.
Yes. So yeah, so this
Um,
is again my favorite because I love that they're like book accurate versions of these characters instead of
I
like
like that too.
film, like the crazy because like
Mhm.
is Van Helsing a good film? Do I love Hugh Jackman as vampire hunter Van Helsing? Yes. Is that even remotely what Abraham Van Helsing is supposed to be? No.
I love it.
But
I love it.
again, is
I need to watch that.
Frankenstein's monster in any film what Frankenstein's monster is supposed to be? No.
No. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I do love that. I've read like two retellings, but I've read like three retellings lately. And I feel like I've been getting a lot of I've had a lot of mixed feelings about them. So I just read this spell book of Katrina Van Tassel, which is a retelling of Sleepy Hollow.
mm.
And I realized I haven't actually read Sleepy Hollow.
Oh.
I've only I've read the legends and I've heard the like tells and I've read all the different iterations, but I've never read the actual story. So I was like, I don't know what's true and what's not. And like this was a retelling, so it wasn't even like
Right.
I don't know. I don't think Katrina Van House is even in the story. It's like Brahm is in this story, obviously, and Ichabod and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I also just read Brioni and Roses, which I want you to add to your TBR. It's a T. Kingfisher book. It's a retelling of Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
Um, and it's really interesting the things they like keep from the original stories because they're retellings that are off the rails. They're not
Well, I mean, and
like
to be
to the
fair,
book.
what people think of as these fictional stories is often related to the Disney movies, which is not the original stories either.
Right.
Like
Mm-hmm.
Beauty and the Beast, first of all, is not at all the actual fairy
Mm-hmm.
tale of Beauty and the Beast is not at all like the Disney movie.
No, they're all
Even
horror stories, basically. They're gothic tales that like Grimm
yeah,
told in the
and
horror way.
also like Belle has sisters.
Like,
And like in the story, the reason the dad gets kidnapped isn't because he stumbles upon the castle. Like the beast is actually very kind to him when he comes to the castle. What happens is he gets gifts, like he gets riches for his one daughter and like clothes for his other daughter, but all Belle wants is a rose. So he goes and cuts a rose out of the beast's rose garden, and that's when he
mm,
loses his shit. Like it's like a very, very different story.
Yeah. Um, and so I like when more contemporary writers write the retelling, but include these elements from the original
Yeah.
stories. And like I said, I haven't read Sleepy Hollow, but I think that's what they did in this book was they included a lot from the original story. But it's set in 1790, so it's set like in the original time frame. Um, but
I
I so
actually
I
I have to tell
go ahead.
you, I was looking for something and I stumbled upon, and I didn't read it because I'm going to read it when we finish, but I stumbled upon an academic thesis paper about this show, about Penny Dreadful.
That's amazing.
Amazing. And I cannot wait to finish the show so I can read this essay.
Yeah, and you can bring that to our wrap up.
Perfect.
I love it. Yeah, so I love that this show does that because a lot of things don't. They just want to focus on the ones that you're familiar with.
Yeah,
But
they
they're way
want
more the original stories are way more interesting than the like dramatized versions, I
I
feel like.
know. I
Like so I
know.
never
But
understand that.
the problem is they are more interesting. However, they're often more intellectually interesting. And not to be rude, but I'm gonna be a little bit rude. Um, Audiences don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like audiences want to be scared. And like I'm finding this a lot. Like I've been so my eighth graders are working on a unit that is the art of suspense. Like what is suspense? And we're reading like horror
Mhm.
short stories like Roald Dahl and Edgar Allan Poe and H.G. Wells and like very, very suspenseful short stories. And like not scary, but full of suspense because we're teaching like what is suspense.
Mhm.
And they don't feel anything when they read these stories. But then we talked about how it's used in film in a similar way, and we watched clips from Jurassic Park, and they were like 100% involved. And I was like, I'm sorry. I I love Jurassic Park. You know me. I
Sure.
love Jurassic Park. But if you give me Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart or the 1993 Jurassic Park, one of those is significantly scarier to me.
Mhm. Yeah. The Telltale Heart is one of the stories that has stuck with me more than a lot of other. And I read it in high school.
Yeah,
It's been a lot of years since I read it.
yeah.
And
But
it
like,
stuck with me more than a
but
lot
because
of
it
things
it
has. Yeah.
fucks with your head because the
Hmm.
narrator is so unstable through the whole story that by the end of the story, you don't even know how much of that actually happened. Like that's the
Yeah.
whole point, is like the suspense is partially because he's like losing his mind and you're like, is he gonna get
Hmm.
caught? Is he gonna get caught? But also because you're like, wait, does this even make sense? Like,
Yeah.
and so like one of the things that they had to do was they had to like write a short story from the police officer's point of view.
Oh, that's fun.
And one of the kids actually like wrote that like they got to the house and he still had like blood on his shirt that he didn't know was there. And like I was like, that's such a like good take on it. Like that's what I want your brains to be doing.
Hmm. Yeah. That's I love that.
But
I love
that's
that.
not, but then three of the kids didn't even write anything. So like that's fine.
Well, heathens. Yeah.
And that's the problem is we live in a country of heathens. So we watch Hugh Jackman Van Helsing. Um,
Right.
which fun fact I found out from Monica recently. Hugh Jackman was originally cast as the Phantom in the Phantom of the Opera movie,
Hmm.
and he turned
I
it
knew that.
down. And he turned it down to do Van Helsing.
I know. Yeah, I knew that.
And while I'm so glad we have Van Helsing, could you imagine if we had a Phantom that could sing?
Oh, I know. I know. Oh, that's everything
Anyway,
I'm here for. But I want what's her face back in it too though. I love her as
she's
Christine.
too old now though.
I know. I know, but I love her. Um anyway, so we're talking about a cure for vampirism. And then he storms out because he sees the monster has followed him. I never got his name again. I've forgotten it already. Um, but his
Oh,
original
oh shoot.
starts with a C.
Yes, I have it in my notes. From last
I do
week.
too.
It is
Caliban.
Caliban, yes.
So Caliban's followed him and he tells him that he's meant to be keeping his promises. He's like, I don't know what you're doing here. You're like hanging out with these people, doing other work. You're supposed to be building me a bride. And he's like, what do you think I'm He's like, I have to have like money and resources. Like, I
Yeah.
can't just create her out of thin air. Like, that's what I'm working on. I'm working towards that. But he doesn't care. He is not thinking logically at all. And he says he
No.
just wants a beautiful bride and he better do it or he's gonna kill everyone.
Well, and then in true Victor Frankenstein fashion, that made me want to throat punch him. He was like, "Oh, what to go with her beautiful
Oh my
mate?"
gosh. Yeah.
God,
Punch
I
him in the
would
throat.
fucking
Hmm.
punch him in the throat.
I know. And so then we go to Ethan and Rona and they have a quick conversation. We learn that she was engaged before it was to a horrible man. Who didn't even want to look at her when they were sleeping together. He was probably gay and trying not to be in his time, if I had to guess. But he also it was just like it was so horrible the things she's been through.
Oh,
And now to have consumption.
the way she described like her mother's reaction to it also was just like so devastating.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the fact that her mom didn't care that she was being like abused is like basically why she became a prostitute. And that is
Hmm.
just like
Because she had no one to care for her. Like she had no one who
right.
loved her, not her parents, not her husband, not anyone.
Yeah.
Um, so then we go back to the zoo vampire is what I've been calling him. Because again, I
Oh no,
did
we don't know his name. He's
we do
just
know his name. They said it at the end of one of them.
did
Fenton.
they? What?
Fenton. His name is
Fenton? Oh,
Fenton.
Fenton. Yes, yes, yes.
I was like, I kept wanting to say Felix, and I was like, that's not right.
No,
Um,
now that you say that, I remember that, but I didn't think he had a name through the entire time.
it
So
was
like,
very briefly at the end. Like it was not a big spot. Um, so we go to Fenton, and he's calling Vanessa his mother. He's like, I want mother. I need, sustenance. I need to see her. And he also says that he doesn't want to sleep. And they're like, why? Like, they're trying to get him to go to sleep, put him to sleep. And he's like, I don't want to sleep because there's too many monsters when I'm dreaming. And Victor, so then they're talking more about it. And he's like, okay, look, we're gonna have to do some kind of transfusion because the whole thing is we're gonna try and replace his blood with other blood so that it gets out of his system. That's our first trial. And they want to take Ethan's blood. And Ethan is like real defensive. And
yeah.
he's like, that's a terrible idea. And they're like,
But like, why? I still
right, like
don't.
he's being super sus.
At first I was like, well, maybe it's because of Brona and like
Mhm.
because like
Oh, if he like got
tuber
consumption in him or
right,
something.
like because tuberculosis isn't like not a communicable disease. Like you can
Right.
um and like it won't affect Dorian because Dorian is like
Immoral.
immortal. But
No.
like wait, you can catch TB, right?
It's a blood
Yes,
disease, so
it's
I think you have to
no,
get
it's
their
a
blood and your blood.
no, it's a contagious bacterial infection. So if she coughs in
Mm.
his mouth, dead. Like so
Immediately dead.
well, not quite that fast. Not quite that fast. But yeah, so like he's like sleeping with someone who has like a congenital bacterial disease.
Mhm.
So like that was my first thought, but by the end of the episode, I don't know if that's true anymore. I'm very confused. I don't
Yeah.
know anything about Ethan
Because
anymore.
I also thought about I was like, well, he's so anti everything that's going on because he thinks they're torturing this kid that like maybe he's like, we shouldn't even put him through this at all. Like, I'm not giving you my blood because I don't agree with what we're doing.
But the
Like,
problem is which I would agree with, except for the problem is that the transfusion wouldn't hurt him. It would only help him because it would put
yeah.
non fucked up blood in his body.
Assuming that that works, and like if you combine them, what if you combine them and it's a travesty? Like, what if that sets off a
But
reaction?
they didn't know enough about blood types at that point to like
No, they didn't.
understand that. So like the science isn't why it doesn't work, like why it
Yeah,
couldn't work.
that's
So
true.
it's clearly something about him giving blood that he's
Yeah,
not cool with.
yeah,
And my first thought was the consumption. But then by the end of the episode, I just think that there's way more fucked up things happening with this man than we understand, and
yeah.
I don't like
It's
it.
very suspicious. It's very suspicious for sure.
I don't trust him.
But I don't trust anyone. Let's start
Well,
there.
no, there's no one in this entire show who's a good person. Let's be
I mean, I
clear.
think I trust Rona. Like I don't know that I consider her good, but I think that she's honest to
Yes,
an extent, if that makes
yes,
sense. Like
I do know that's fair. Brona is honest because there's nothing left to lie
there's not
about.
right. There's nothing to lose. What if she like she's gonna die any day and
Yeah.
she works, and she's whoring around. Like, what does she have
And
left to lose?
and I like we're not there yet, but like the things that she says to Ethan later, like
Mm-hmm.
they are obviously coming from a place of jealousy, but it's not like jealousy like she thinks she's not good enough. It's like jealousy like you're going to keep having a life after me and you might as well just start living it now.
Yeah, yeah, it's rough.
It's her own self issues.
Mhm.
And like so yes, Brona is probably also not like a good person, but she's definitely the only person
Sure.
who isn't lying to us.
Right. Like I trust the things she says, whether for better or for worse, I trust what she's saying.
Yes.
Um, anyways, because Ethan so vehemently refuses, Sir Malcolm's just like, just take my blood. We don't have time for all this. Um, and so as they're waiting to kind of like see what happens, Vanessa walks in. And they start talking, they're talking about this trip, and Malcolm's like, look, I finally decided like who my guest is gonna be. I'm gonna take Ethan with me to Africa. We're gonna do this like journey. And in the
Which
middle of all this, okay,
so fuck this guy, right?
I hate him
Because
so much.
I hate him because like he already in the first episode when we saw him in his explorer club, he was talking all this shit about the Belgian Congo and
Mhm.
like the and now he's like I'm gonna find the source of the Nile River like and discover it. Bitch, you didn't discover anything. People live in Africa.
Right.
Like the fuck?
Yeah, no, he's so dumb. Like I do.
He
I just hate him a lot.
he is just like so stereotypically like British colonialist, like to a point where it's not endearing, and I don't understand why anyone gives a shit about him.
Yeah, he's too big for his britches, but I think he's got a lot of money, and that's what it is.
Yeah,
Um,
and I
which is
guess,
common.
but he's also like he's also clearly got some fucked up stuff. But like I'm like thinking that he touched some ancient artifacts in the Congo and fucked his whole life up and he's cursed. Like
I see what you're.
yeah, like he's been cursed by like the darkness in the fucking Congo because he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, yeah, that's possible.
Because why
Um,
else does he want to go back to Africa so bad when clearly he has a lot of fucking shit going on right now?
right, right. Well, um, we learned that she doesn't think he's gonna go at all. She's like, this is what you always say, so
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. That never happens. But in the midst of this conversation, Finn wakes back up,
you know.
and he
I was
is
right.
starving.
The Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad, the book about going deep into the Belgian Congo and like being fucked up in the river, is at the correct time period for this.
Oh, so add that to
I,
the list.
I was right. I don't know if it's actually related, but when he every time he talks
Mm.
about this river, that's what I'm picturing is the like the ending scene from The Heart of Darkness. And it was published in 1899, so it is the correct like time period.
Oh,
So
interesting. Another one I haven't read. Um,
really, I had to read that one in high school.
it was an option when we did our final papers that someone
Hmm.
could pick for their final paper.
Oh.
Um, and so someone else read it, but it wasn't like part of the like scheduled reading.
Oh, okay, okay.
Um, and then well, so he still needs blood and he's freaking out, and Ethan is still
Well,
upset about the whole
at
situation.
first he says he's hungry and they try to give him
Yeah,
like food and then he like fucking flips his shit.
yeah. Because he obviously is still a vampire.
Yeah.
Um, and so Ethan is like so upset about the situation. He's just kind of like stop still. He like doesn't know what's going on. And they're like, we got to get him something. We can do this. We can do that. And they're talking it through. And the assistant walks up and just kills a cat, and feeds it to him. Like
Yeah,
no
that was
thought
that was
process. And
wild.
I was like, that's disturbing. Um, but I guess you have to do what you have to do. Like
I
I
mean,
don't know.
there was a lot of animal stuff in this episode that I did not care for.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot. Sorry, I'm like not stuff. But next we go to the theater. Because what better diversion than the theater?
I gotta say,
So
the theater scene was my favorite scene of the whole
yeah.
episode. Not, I mean, I thought Brona was adorable, like watching the
Mhm.
theater. That was fine. Like cute, whatever. I loved all the like everybody being at the theater and like the whole like we are all making this connection and it's gonna bring all the pieces of the story together.
Yeah.
But no, watching Caliban run around the theater like a crazy person to do every single light and curtain and everything. I felt that shit in my soul. I was like, absolutely, absolutely. That is what a
He was
stage,
made for the theater.
like,
Yeah.
that is what a stage rat does. Like back
Mhm.
before we had technology and buttons to press, that's what you fucking did. And I mean, I loved it. I was obsessed with it. It was my favorite part of the whole episode.
Yeah,
Mostly because,
very
mostly because it was one of the only scenes that didn't abuse women or animals, but that's
yeah. Well, in real life,
in real life,
she
obviously.
dies on stage, but she's
Yes.
fine. Um, yeah, I did love that. I was like, oh, he's in his element. He's
He
really
he
like
was
living
so
his best
happy.
life.
He was so
I
happy. I
know.
was And
It was.
even though he's like a dick to Frankenstein, because I know like the story of the actual like Frankenstein's monster and how he's only a monster
Mhm.
because he was abused, um,
Right.
just seeing him actually happy made me so
Mhm. Yeah. And like you said, I loved the whole time how Berta was like super enthralled. She was like
she was so cute. She
her
was so
face.
cute. She
She
was
was like
so into
shocked at
it.
the right times and
Oh,
like laughing
she
and
would believe
oh,
every moment of it. It was like
I know.
the first time you take a kid to the theater and they like really think like, oh God. Um, I remember I took like one of the times that Lion King was here, there was a kid in the
Mhm.
audience who was very, very scared when Mufasa died that there was actually a dead person on stage.
Aw.
And like that genuine innocent believing everything you see on stage. It was
Sweet
beautiful.
baby.
It was beautiful.
Oh, I love that. I mean, I hate that for them. They're probably terrified, but I love the like
The
imagination.
mom was very, very good at like explaining how it was like just pretend and like she was like
Mhm.
she handled it really, really well and the kid was like fine, like they weren't crying or anything.
Well, that's
Like
good. That's good.
so it was good, but like just that like innocent, genuine, like I am watching the theater and fully 100% in the magic of theater. That's what
Oh,
I
I do
live for
love
it.
that. Ugh, yeah. And so does everyone else because Dorian's also there, and then he sees Vanessa across in the other box, but she's also there. They're enjoying the
Vanessa's
scrimmage.
100% there because she knew Dorian was going to be there. She's a
Oh,
little
she's
obsessed
just
with
staring
him.
at him.
She's
She's so
obsessed with him.
obsessed. Yeah, she's so obsessed, and I don't know why. I don't understand. Um,
I mean, he's charming, he's mysterious, but like
sure, but she's like another level.
she's way into it.
And she's so intuitive, like about things, and she like has all of these like witchy
Ma-
elements that I'm like, how are you so like
How are
locked
you?
in on this one
Yeah,
guy?
how do you? That's the thing is like with her intuition and like her immediate knowing, like immediately knowing that Ethan was a fake, immediately knowing
Hmm.
that Victor is hiding something. She can't see that Dorian's hiding. Like she doesn't see that Dorian's a fake. Like she doesn't see that
Yeah,
Dorian is a
and
fraud.
and maybe it's that she can see something's there, but she can't figure out what it is, and that's what's intriguing. Like I don't know, but like it is so mind blowing.
it feels way more schoolgirl crushy
Yes,
than it
yeah,
should for like what Dorian really is.
yeah. So I'm waiting for that to really go off the rails at some point. Um,
More off the rails than the end of this episode? I don't know, man.
look, stranger things have happened. Um, and so they're everybody sees everyone, and we go back to Victor and Malcolm, and they're talking about going to Africa. And Victor is so salty about not being chosen to go with him. He's like, I just want people to think I'm capable. Like he's the little boy that like gets picked last and like really wants you to
Which
know.
is so, so accurate.
Well, and he like, and finally Malcolm is like, look, I picked Ethan because I could care less about him. Like, he's just a person, he's just a body. I care about you like I'm your dad. Like, I want you to be safe. And I'm like, you're saying a lot of words that I don't feel from your
I
heart.
don't believe you. First of all, I don't believe you. Second of all,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit farther ahead of you in Frankenstein right now, but in the first couple chapters, you will read and you will learn very quickly that Frankenstein had a very good relationship with his dad. And so pulling the I'm just loving you like your dad card is fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, it is Sir Malcolm, so I wouldn't put anything past him. But
True.
So
Truly.
this this whole time I'm like, you are being so manipulative, and I don't really know why. Like,
That's the thing. I can't figure out his motives. And you know what? The characters that are characters that I already know. So like Dorian and Victor. I know those
sure,
characters. I know those characters like the back of my hand. I know their motives. I'm sure like obviously their stories aren't playing out word for word like the book, but because
sure.
they're so accurate to the character and the way the character is
Hmm.
written, ambition, motive, like inner inner monologue, inner thought, inner turmoil, all accurate. So I get what they're doing. It's the characters that I think because some of the characters are so familiar to me and other characters are so fucking I have no idea what's going on. I find them even more frustrated because I can't figure them out.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
And I think,
I know that's a me problem. Like I think it's a good writing. I'm
yeah.
not mad at the show about it, but I'm also mad about it because I can't figure it out.
Well, and that's the thing is like, because I feel like we're both pretty good at figuring out character motivation in
Yeah.
most stories. And like, even though I haven't read Dorian Gray, I've read Frankenstein. I get their motive. Like, I can tell their character already. I know enough from pop culture to know their character.
Yeah.
Um, but like, and I feel like I don't know Ethan's actual motivation, but I feel like I know Ethan,
You know what?
even if I don't like.
I thought I did. I thought I did. This episode, I really don't think I do. I really think that there is something else happening
I
that
mean,
we don't.
I think there's something else happening, but I think that like within he's still the same. There's something
I don't
outside of
know.
his control. I feel like that's not him.
Those flashbacks at the end with the absinthe really
Hmm. Hmm.
I no longer am sure. Like
Yeah. So
which is I mean honestly, it's a good place to leave the episode because I have a lot of
yeah.
thoughts and feelings. I need to know what happens next.
Right.
Which is great. But yeah, I thought I was pretty confident I understood him until that last scene, and then I was like,
Hmm.
I have theories. I don't know where any of them actually live in my brain. Like,
Hmm.
so
Yeah. I don't know, but everyone else and Sir Malcolm, I don't know where his character, like him and Vanessa both, I don't know where their characters fit into the literary world. Like I
and
haven't figured out what story they're telling.
I wonder because we're living in this world of like gothic characters and like overacted archetype type things and very like emotional turmoil based characters. I really don't know if they are intentionally one dimensionally villainous to throw us off.
Mm-hmm.
They don't feel like they don't feel like they have a lot of depth until they randomly say things that you're like, I have no idea who you are. Like they kind
Right.
and so I think I want to say it's like intentional to like create this opposition to these really deep characters. Um so that when we find out what's really happening, it's like even more like
Yeah.
big,
Hmm.
but it's just also like what the fuck is going on?
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Um, but yeah, so then we go back to Fenton and we see that his master is back. Just a quick little snippet before we go back to the theater. Um, and we see that this whole show, it's like, I don't know if I wrote down what it was. I think it's called The Transformed Beast. And so it's basically a,
It is called the Transform Beast. It That's actually how I found the article because I looked up the Transform Beast to see if it was
mm,
based on any actual like Penny like Dreadful that we could find out
mm-hmm,
about. And I found a lot of shit about Beauty and the Beast
okay.
and then the academic article called The Transformed Beast, Penny Dreadful and the Gothic like
Oh,
liter so like that's how I found this article. So I'm
okay.
glad I Googled it, but I know absolutely nothing about whether this was a real story or
Sure.
not. So
Yeah. Um, well, basically, it's a show about a man who has a beast within him.
yeah, it's like
And
werewolf.
so it's like a werewolf story. Right.
Yeah.
And like, Bert is so petrified, like we talked about it. Ethan's so adorable. He loves the theater. Like, I've never seen someone love the theater so much. And he didn't like it. He didn't
But
have the
he
same emotions,
no,
but
but
he
he
was just
also
happy the
seemed
whole
he was
time.
happy, but he also seemed like he was just like really happy that she was so happy.
He was, yeah. It was like everything was like perfect in that moment for him. And so we go back to Victor and Malcolm, and they hear someone else in the house, which we just saw that the master has arrived.
Yeah.
And so they go and they're looking around, and they go to look at Fenton, and he has escaped. And then he starts attacking Malcolm, and um, the boy finally says, "She's not here, master," and we have a flash to the master, who then leaves.
Yeah.
Once he realizes that she's not there, and Malcolm like kind of tackles him and like impales the back of his head with glass, and so now Fenton is dead. Suddenly.
Which, like, I didn't think that was one of the ways you could kill a vampire, but that's fine.
I didn't think it was either, but I guess technically we may never know. But like maybe he's not dead
Right.
because
That's fair.
that's where we've left him. That's the end of him for this episode. So who's to say? So we went to the theater, and everybody is now like joining together. We have Vanessa, we have Dorian, we have Brona, we have Ethan, all together. And Vanessa is praising the show, and she starts praising Ethan's show, and she's like, "You're actually a really good actor yourself. Like we saw you in this and whatnot." And so he kind of talks about his past work, and then in the midst of all of this, like joking around and whatnot, Brona gets hella jealous.
Well, but
So,
also it doesn't start as jealousy. It starts as shame because
mhm,
Dorian, like, Ethan introduces her to Dorian, and he's like, "Oh, we've met. Like, I think we've met." And she was like, "I don't know." And so she's very ashamed of who she actually is. And then
yeah.
she sees all these high class, like, people joking and like friendly and like hanging out with Ethan, and so her shame starts to like turn into jealousy, and she realizes she is
Hmm.
not the person for Ethan because this is the life he could live, and she
He's
will
more high
never, and
class.
she will, even though he doesn't seem like it because he's an American and he does his Western show or whatever, he fits in with those people that she will never belong in that world, and it freaks her the fuck out.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's like it's pretty devastating. And she runs off, and he goes to follow her, of course. And she starts telling him, she's like, "I have nothing for you. Like I'm not the right fit for you. You have so much life to live. What can I offer you that you could just watch me die? That's not a life to live." Like
Yeah.
she's like, "That's all that's left." And so she ends by telling him that if he wants to sleep with her, he has to pay for her just like everyone else. And she runs, which is just so sad. It's
It's
so
so sad.
heartbreaking.
It's so heartbreaking because you know it hurts her just as much as it hurts him, but she like
Hmm.
can't deal with the reality of her
Yeah.
life.
Um, in the midst of this, as she's running off, Dorian comes off to tell Ethan that the next act is starting. And Ethan says he's so like in his old head. He's like, "I just want to be someone else. Like this is not nothing is right." And Dorian's like, "Oh, I can remedy that for you. Come with me." And then we see Bronna, and she is worse for the wear. Her consumption is overdrive.
I truly was afraid she was just gonna die on the street right there.
I also was unsure if that was what was going to happen or not.
I mean, to be fair, we don't really have closure on that. She could
I
have.
guess that's true. I'm assuming she did not. I assume we will see when she dies.
Yeah,
Um,
but whew.
I know. And so Dorian and Ethan go off, and they're going to a rat killing competition where they have these like
It's basically
fighting
like it's
dogs.
like basically a weird ass like super creepy underground men's club where they just like bet on vile shit because they can. Like it's
Yeah, and it's like these dogs tearing apart these rats, and it's like which dog can tear apart the most, or how many do you think they're going to tear apart? It's like
which I mean,
really
I guess
upsetting.
it is a little upsetting, but I guess that's one way of dealing with rat control in London because like rats are
I
a
guess so.
problem, but also it's disgusting and horrible
Hmm.
and I hated every moment of that scene.
Yeah, not a fan. And then
Especially because it was not the first scene of animal abuse in this episode. And I was
in
like,
this episode, yeah,
I was like, it's bad enough to see it like once an episode. Now it's more than once an episode, and I don't care for this.
right,
I understand the realities of Victorian London. Not a
sure.
fan.
Yeah, well, Ethan's not either. Ethan's also not a fan. So he goes to the bar to get a drink, and these people start like goading him, and he just goes off and attacks them because they are just like after him. And then we find out Dorian comes back. And we find out that he's won his bet,
Yeah.
and on Flash
But
Jack or
but then he
Jack
says
Flash
that
or
he
whatever.
doesn't actually care that he won his bet because you can only win the bet so many times before it's no longer
You stop
exciting.
caring. Yeah, which is his life.
Which is his life.
Um,
And actually that's part of one of the problems in like in the novel is that
mhm,
Dorian every time
yeah.
he gets good at something, he like no longer finds joy in it. And it gets to the point where he
Mhm,
literally can't do anything left because there's nothing left that is could bring him joy.
right. Yeah. And so they go back to his house and they're cleaning up because Ethan is bloodied from his fight. And they're talking about his massive cologne collection because this man has all of the colognes known to mankind.
Yeah.
Um, and then they start talking about, he's like, if you ever had absinthe? And Ethan's like, no. And he's like, let's do this. And so they go to have absinthe and he toasts with Ethan to Vanessa.
Which
And
Ethan is very
Ethan just looks at
confused
it.
by.
Yeah, he just like stares at it, but he's like, oh, okay.
But
Um,
also, I literally, as they were doing that, I was like, good fucking luck.
I know.
Because I was like, because first of all, absinthe is a lot, but also to have your first sip of absinthe prepared the way that Dorian just prepared it with a creepy ass man like Dorian, good luck.
Yeah, for
Good
sure.
luck.
But honestly, that feels right for absinthe, how you should do it, because
Yeah.
it's kind of a creepy drink. Um, so we go back to Vanessa and Malcolm, and he starts telling her about the monster who was in her room. And then Vanessa starts putting all these realizations, and she's like, I think this whole time that Mina's been manipulating me. She's like, I know I betrayed her. Um, and she was like, however, you ignored her entire life. So like we've both betrayed her, but I think you've betrayed her worse. Mine was a one-off. Um, and she's like, I don't know that we can like trust any of this anymore. And so then we go back to Dorian and Ethan with their absent, and Ethan's talking about really liking art because it's honest, and he asks like what Dorian thinks, and Dorian says that he thinks that only music can be honest. He thinks that everything else can be hidden, basically, which is obviously true with his painting.
Right. But also like
And
that's kind of the whole thing of like there's truth in art, but there's also it's also a lot of what you wish was true. Like that's
what's
what
portrayed, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's a very interesting, but I mean, but it's
yeah,
hard. I do think it's harder to lie in music because
it is
it's
because
so
yeah,
emotional.
hmm and you can tell when it's not
I
emotional,
also think it's
when it's
harder to
pretending to be.
I think poetry is also really hard to lie in
I think so too, but I
because
think
I
it's the
mean,
performance
it's the
is a
performance.
lot of it.
That's true. I think poetry is interesting because you could write an entire poem that's a lie and somehow have it not be a lie based on the person who reads it because it's
Hmm.
so subjective. Um, and I
Yeah,
think that's kind of the whole thing about art, but I do think that music touches a different part of your brain and it makes it
it
impossible for
does.
you to like
I mean,
pretend.
scientifically, it does.
Yeah, like it makes it
So,
impossible to pretend to feel something other than what
mhm,
like the music is actually triggering in you.
right, 100%. And we see that portrayed here because they're listening to like heartbreak music, and he starts thinking of Brahma, and he's just like thinking over and over. And then we start getting flashbacks, and we're getting flashbacks to all of the scenes in the earlier episodes where we saw the Jack the Ripper paper, we saw the woman who was killed, we see Ethan like singing it all from when he was there in the crowd, and
But then we also get some flashbacks to some shit that we don't know what it is.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And it's like
and
him
it's
like dying and then like being surrounded by like dismembered bodies and like all this like crazy shit.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It
Which is why I'm
is,
like, maybe the blood had nothing to do with consumption. I don't know what the fuck is happening anymore.
yeah.
I
So
literally, during the scene, I literally looked at Dan and I go, no, I will tell you the moment that I looked at, I'll tell you the moment. So he's having all these flashbacks. You continue your
yeah.
narrative.
So then he goes up to Dorian and kisses him and starts undressing him.
Listen, this moment, he walks up to Dorian and he rips his shirt open
Hmm.
before he kisses him, like aggressively. And I looked at Dan and I said, I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but I can guarantee you this was not
That
it.
wasn't it. That wasn't it. Yeah, I too was caught off guard. um, yeah, that was an interesting choice that he's made. Um, But I literally, the last note I have on my page is I have to keep reminding myself this is a Showtime show. Like, because this is so off the rails. And
Mhm.
I was like, I got that, like, I got to this point, I was like, what is happening? What channel does this come on? And I was like, Showtime. It's Showtime. This is Showtime. Everything's fine. This is how they do
No,
things.
nothing is fine.
I mean, nothing's fine, but this at least makes more sense. Like,
And to be honest, it isn't even about like the sexuality part of it. Like
I mean, that's a little bit. There was a
it's a
lot of sexuality in this episode.
it's a little, yes, it's a little bit about that because like we see that,
Yeah.
but we also like Dorian in the first scene and everything that he did and all the people that he was with, we
Hmm.
know for a fact that Dorian Gray is a hedonistic
Right.
monster. Like that is who he is at his core, is he does
Hmm.
literally anything and everything to feel.
Right.
So I don't like, fine. I don't know that that's really like text accurate for him to bring out his hedonism in homosexual ways, but like it fits the character, it fits the show.
Sure.
Don't know what Ethan's deal is. Like
No.
maybe that's part of it. Like that's part of what his secrets are. We don't know yet.
Right.
But that wasn't even like really what bothered me. It
No.
just was so aggressive and out of nowhere. And like, how do you go from having like really intense flashbacks to dismembered bodies to I'm gonna jump your bones right now? Like, I was so uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was sitting kind of uncomfortable when Dorian Gray was like, I've never slept with a dying girl. And it's like, these are not things you
These
say
are
out
not things you
loud.
say to people. These are not.
No. This is not how it
No,
goes.
no.
So it's yeah, it's very upsetting. Um the trajectory that we've taken on this show in a good way, in a good way. But
Right.
upsetting
I mean,
nonetheless.
I don't know if it's a good way. I feel very similarly to my book review from Sunday. This is ruining my life, or this is changing my life, and I'm not 100% sure it's a good thing.
Right. 5 stars.
5 stars. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Ruin my life. I don't think I'll ever be okay. 5 stars.
Right. So yeah, that is how I feel. That is the end of the episode. Do you have thoughts before I tell you some things? I've lost my phone.
No. I mean, mostly I shared a lot of my thoughts as we were going.
Yeah.
I don't have any idea what's coming next. I I'm curious if Van Helsing is going to continue to play a role. I would like that just because I like that character. I am super concerned for where this Ethan thing is going.
Off
I
the rails. It is
off
going
the
off
rails.
the rails.
I I'm starting to feel like we've lost the plot a little bit.
Mm. Hmm.
Like I'm still interested in the characters. I'm still invested in the show. I'm still invested in the world and I like the literary influences and I like the vibe of the show. But this episode more than I think the first three, I really felt like we strayed from the plot, which I'm guessing the main plot of the show is supposed to be this vampire hunting situation and the Mina and the demons. And I
Yeah.
didn't really, so I just think we've lost the plot a little bit. And I don't,
Hmm.
oh my God, stop raising your hand. I have to like turn those settings off. I don't know how to do that. I think,
Mine doesn't raise. I'm
well,
sorry.
it's okay. I don't know. I don't know. Like I'm hoping that I'm wrong and that it's just like adding some extra strings in that need to be tied instead of like
Yeah.
jumping the shark.
Well, this is the mid-season because it's eight
Right.
episodes, so it's really
Right.
short. I think I rated this a little lower. I mentioned in the beginning. I thought that it's moving a little bit too fast, but not fast enough. Like at the same time,
Yeah.
like because like all this stuff with Brona, like that was a really high intensity episode. I don't know if her name's Brona or Brona. I wrote down both in my notes, and now I've forgotten what her
It's
actual name is.
Brona.
Brona,
BRO.
okay.
Yeah.
So, um, like everything with Brona has like gone off the rails. Like she went from like being this one character. The last episode where she opened up a little bit and now she's like crashed. And it's like we had 30 seconds where she was not in this like down below.
Yeah.
like where she'd been. And so I was like, I feel like that was a not enough of a character
Hmm.
jump, I guess. Um, Dorian's fine. He just is what he is.
Yeah. No, but
Starting
that's the
off
thing is
though
like
is
I'm like interested in the characters individually. Like
yeah,
I like Dorian, I like Brona, I like Ethan. Like I'm interested in each of the characters, but I almost feel like I'm watching weird vignettes of these characters and
yes.
not like a story.
Yeah, and I feel like I feel like Mina's a big storyline, but I kind of feel like the story itself is more like Vanessa's story is what we're watching. But
Except for
I'm
that,
not sure if that's what it's supposed to be. Like I don't
right.
think that's what's supposed to be the story.
No,
I think
like in the
her
first two
character's just kind of
in
stolen
the
it.
in the first two episodes I had this very like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen vibes where like Malcolm was collecting these people to be his like
Hmm.
super like weird literary team.
Right.
And then last week they were all working together. And then this week it's like eight different stories related to each of them but not related to that.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so like I hope I'm wrong. I hope that what was introduced in this story in this episode continues into the next story and it does still come together. The show is generally well reviewed.
Hmm.
So like I hope I'm wrong, but I just this episode felt like we lost the plot.
I've heard from a lot of people that it's good, a lot of different opinion people. And like my friend Zach has been trying to get us to watch the show for a long time. And
Yes.
he is very much into literature. Like he's very literary. He reads everything. And he studies all of like literature and stuff too. Um and so he loved this and gothic novels are his thing. So I feel like it comes out
Well, and
okay.
and like the gothic novel part of it is my favorite part of it. Like
Yeah.
I'm like
But he also like loves the storyline, like he loves horror
that's
too. So
yeah.
like the fact that he likes all of those things and this show makes me feel
Which
like the show
yeah,
comes out
and
fine.
because Zach is the one who's been pressuring us to watch this, and I trust like his opinion on stuff like this, I'm hoping I'm wrong, but in this moment, I just don't know what's coming up, and
I
I
mean,
just
this feels absolutely off the rails, this episode.
correct
It's
this.
yeah, it's hard to know what's coming next.
I genuinely feel like I chugged absinthe and then watched the episode. Like I don't
Ugh, could you imagine if we chugged absinthe and then watched this show?
know. What was it? The other day, oh, it was the day before Thanksgiving at school. We were trying to find something like just short and dumb, like Thanksgiving themed to put on for the kids because we don't have Apple TV and apparently Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving is only on Apple TV.
Mhm. Yeah.
So we were like, what can we put on? And the original Muppets Thanksgiving special is on Netflix.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Listen, we turned it off. And I looked at Kate and I said, if I still did drugs, I would go home and watch this immediately after work. Like I was like, I think I got high watching that.
Oh, that's the best. That's the
Um,
best. I love that.
that's how I feel at the end of this episode.
Yeah, that is totally fair. Well, I do have a few fun facts for you.
Perfect.
Goofs. I have some goofs for you. So one of the first things, speaking of absinthe, when Dorian serves Ethan absinthe, after adding the ice water to the liquor, it should turn cloudy and milky with a
Yeah.
lighter green color to it. Um, this phenomenon is called the Louche effect. I should know what that is, and I don't. And as a defining trait of the liquor known as the Green Fairy. However, in the scene, it stays that same bright, translucent green, which I'm
Yes.
sure is meant for like
Visual
TV
effect
effect.
to make it look like to make
But
people understand that it's absinthe. Yeah.
yeah, but the fact that it doesn't change when he puts the ice in it means that they didn't quite follow it right. And
Yeah, but
then
also the way that he did the sugar just the visuals of him like doing the sugar felt weird.
yeah,
Like it
yeah,
it
yeah,
looked
it
it looked
did.
weird to me. So
Um, and then I don't know what that one means. So you said that it looked like Belladonna, like Deadly Nightshade. That actually wasn't Belladonna.
I'm sure
It
because that would be a terrible thing to actually have on set.
Well, it would be, but it probably is happening a lot. It happened a lot. However, the shape of the flowers indicates that it's a specimen of the Dulcimeroid clade, which is bitter nightshade or bittersweet, rather than the belladonna.
Oh,
So
so it
the
was like the
belladonna.
It was the
It's
nightshade
the
that
same
does,
family.
yeah, but it was the nightshade that doesn't kill you instead of the one that does.
Yeah, it's right. It's like belladonna has a bell-shaped flower and a more muted
Right.
mauve purple color, and this was a little less that way.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I think they just did the color, like the way that they did the coloration of that scene, like and because of the character
yeah,
and like the shit he was saying, I was like, that makes sense. Yeah, you're right. It was probably not correct exactly. Um,
yeah.
but
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 it
you
does
know,
say bittersweet nightshade is still toxic.
oh,
Um,
well, here's the thing. Fun fact
it's
about
not dangerous to touch though. So,
whereas belladonna is.
mhm, mhm.
Um, so in a scene where you're putting your face that close to it, let's not use the actual one that
Right,
touching it will kill
right,
you.
right,
So
right, right.
that's valid. Did you
Yeah.
know that tomatoes are part of the nightshade family?
I recently learned that, like within the past like 6 months.
Yeah, fun facts.
But yeah,
Fun
because
facts.
Nick has a slight nightshade allergy, and because like
Oh,
isn't eggplant also in that?
probably.
And so we had talked about that, but he can like have tomatoes and stuff. It's very
Oh
minor.
yeah,
He
no,
can't have eggplant.
tomatoes, potatoes, eggplants, and peppers are all part of that family.
Yes, 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 yes. So I did recently learn that, and it is wild to me. Um, yeah, I also have another fun fact that is not related to this show, but is related to our show. Um, did you see, did you look at our wrap to this year?
I sure did.
We
I
have
did.
new countries.
We have new countries.
Our top five countries from five up. Five is UK, which used to be
Because
like our second.
yeah,
Four is France, which I don't think we've had people listen in France before, at least not
right.
anybody I know. Three is Mexico, which I think I'm less surprised by. Two is Egypt.
That one was shocking to me. If you were
That
listening
one
to this
threw me
podcast
off.
in Egypt, please reach out. Like that's dope. We are obsessed.
That's so fun. I
Yeah.
am so thrilled you found us because I didn't know that. And so like I mean we had a lot of other good stats. Like we had some like we've had more listeners this year than we have in the past
Yeah,
and
like
like
we had a
we
bunch
had some
of
good
like
crossover.
everything, like every category that they do on Wrapped, ours increased by like over 100%, which was really cool.
Yeah, so it was a really cool like year, but that was the like that's the only thing I saved because I was like Egypt? Like every other country I feel like we've been like we like know someone there. We know someone who's passed through there. Like it
Yeah.
makes a little sense we've gotten to
Right.
that person.
Like I was in the UK and France this year.
Right, right. So like it makes sense that like that has crossed
Right.
over.
And like usually Germany and Thailand have been in our top
Yeah.
five and like I know
And
people there.
Canada.
Yeah. But so
Where's
like that's
Canada?
across the street from me?
No, they're not on our
Oh,
top
like they're not in
five.
the top five anymore. Yes, yes, yes.
I know geographically where Canada is. Why aren't they listening to us anymore? That's what I'm asking.
Got it. I
Um,
mean, they might be. They're just not doing it as much as Egypt.
which is wild. That's crazy,
So
right? Like,
cool. So
yeah.
cool.
So that was really fun. So thanks for a good year. Our rap was really fun this year,
Yeah.
and um, our top episode of the year was the first episode
Asylum.
the of Asylum. I was like, I think the second season, but now I've forgotten for sure.
Yes.
Was the first episode of the second season of Asylum, which was really cool. Um, so thanks for joining us for
Which
this
that was
year.
like the early this year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, because we've done two seasons of American Horror Story.
yeah,
Um,
and a whole show in between.
yeah, yeah. So
What
it was
show did
like
we
really
do?
early.
What show
Um,
did we watch?
no, we just did. Why can't I remember?
It was about
It was like, I mean, it was a season and a half ago.
yeah. It it
I
fit.
feel like it was Clarice, but that
No,
wasn't.
it was. No, it was. It was Hannibal and this. It was the whole Hannibal universe.
We did Hannibal all this year.
No way. No, we didn't do Asylum this year. People just listened to it this year.
Oh, right, 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 right,
That
right,
makes
right, right,
sense
right,
because
right,
I was
right.
like, there's no way in shit with all of Hannibal that we did
Oh my
Asylum
God, I
this year.
know. Oh gosh. Oh, I'm so tired. I can't punch anymore. Who do you want to punch?
Oh, Ethan. I'm so confused.
Uh,
I just want to
um,
punch him because he confused me.
that's fair. That's a fair
And because
reason.
he was very emotionally stunted the whole episode.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I want to punch Victor because he was whiny this episode.
Fair. Fair.
Um, who's your MVP?
My MVP was a lot harder to pick. I don't think I liked
Mhm.
anyone in this episode. I think they all confused me and disturbed me. But I picked Vanessa because she finally was and because of the scene with her and Malcolm where she was like, this is not about me. She was like, I don't know why they're coming for me. This is I don't know what's going on, but this is like we're not following the right path anymore. We're lost. Like
Yeah.
that scene, I was like, okay, somebody's figured out that this is all fucked up.
Um, I wanted to watch all of our main cast this episode. So I'm gonna pick the theater owner guy that leads
Oh,
the troupe because
because of
he
the
made me laugh.
because he said my knees can't do this
Yeah.
play. I did
Yes.
almost pick Caliban just because of my excitement of his theater rat scene.
Yeah,
But then I couldn't
but
justify him like verbally abusing Victor in the middle of the street for no
right.
reason.
Exactly. That was my hang up too, because I almost picked him for that same reason. And then I was
Yeah.
like, "Ah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I picked the theater troop leader. I don't really know his role, but it seems that's his role. So
Yeah.
we'll give it to him. Yeah, so that is that. We are watching Stargate episode SG1 episode 14 this week. So we are off kilter. Please listen to the right one. It's fun. We've watched it. It's interesting. Um
It
horrible. I hate Kinsey. But it's a fun episode to watch.
yeah.
I just hate Kinsey. And then we'll be watching the next episode of Penny Dreadful. These all go in order, so very easy.
Yeah.
Follow by numbers. You're good to go.
Yep.
Um,
Just play
and join
next.
us again if you have any thoughts or feelings, etc. Feel free to email us deathandaliens@gmail.com. Find us on all of the social media at Death and Aliens, including Fable, where you can join our book club. We are Death and Aliens. Link is in the bio for Instagram.
This episode comes out mid-January, so at this point our book club is reading The Picture of
Dorian
Dorian
Gray.
Gray.
hmm it's lovely. We're having a great time. And you can find me at CE Cloud 13.
And you can find me everywhere at EMKAY_superstar.
And we will see you on Sunday for our Sci Fi Sunday. Bye!